Oh snap! I just realized I got Kylo Ren in the background. I didn't even know. I just threw that bag up there when I was cleaning up earlier.
Anyways, welcome back to Vaguely Inconsistent. I said it right this time.
You did. Good job.
I'm joined I'm joined by my bros in other area codes, Lou and Duke.
Uh,
So, I know we were talking about it during the week. 16 whole people downloaded our podcast. Basically
16.
viral at this point.
And only 13 of them were Stacy. So
Right. That's like 10 more, 10 more than I thought we were going to have. So winning.
Yep. Yep. And you know what? I'm fine with them not giving us a thumbs up. I take that as if they didn't give us a thumbs down, that's a thumbs up.
This is
You didn't
true.
hate it. You didn't hate it enough to say I don't want to listen to this again. I'm throwing it down.
I
So
accept
yay.
that. Totally accept that.
Did you guys do anything fun this week?
I swung a softball bat for the first time since October, so we're ramping up for softball season to start up in April. So
Man, he said fun. That ain't fun.
no.
Sound like it hurt.
This is getting me closer to joining up with my drinking team again, who has a softball problem. So
Oh, now you're talking. Now that sounds like fun. Man, not me. My week was crazy. It was just work meetings Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It was wild. Sunday, I probably say I did some fun on Sunday, but we'll save that for what's the white shit that Lou did this week. So
Same. We did go see Madam Web though. I didn't think it was that bad. Everybody
what?
was saying it was horrible. There was that picture going around. They had the boom mic in. That was a dude's baseball cap. Somebody needs to get their eyes checked. But I didn't think it was horrible. I thought it was better than Morbius.
Oh
it was
yeah,
written by the same guys, though.
I think I'd agree with you that it was better than Morbius. No argument there. I didn't mind Morbius,
But again, that's
Okay, we're setting
comparing
the bar low.
that's
yeah,
that's
yes.
comparing a 45-minute shit to like a 35-minute shit. Like, well, it wasn't 45 minutes this time, guys, so it was better. Like,
Whoa! What you got against a long shit? Sometimes I'm playing my game and I
no,
can't get
I'm
off
not
that
talking
pot
about. I'm
if
not
I
talking about
lost.
game. I'm not talking about gameplay, and I'm talking about like you had like legit. There was,
Oh,
you know,
okay, that's different. That's different.
if you
I'll tell you
fall
right
down,
now.
if you fall down the Townsville rabbit hole, that's something completely different. You know, if your ass is
No.
dumb because you've been trying to match three diamonds for the last 25 minutes, that's completely different than.
Nah, man, I'm playing white people shit. I'm playing euchre, and I gotta win before I get off the pot.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
What?
All right. Next episode, we'll talk about apps on our phone.
Wait. But back to Madam Web. So I saw we talked about it a little bit ahead of time. Before you saw it, Jack. I saw it. I didn't think it was that bad. Definitely, I don't think it deserved the hate that it's getting. But it was not a good movie by any means.
Guys,
No.
I've
At all.
watched a lot of movies in my life, and the VO in that movie, hands down, the worst. The fucking worst. The villain,
But
like multiple scenes. Go ahead and start talking, Jack, because this is how it was. Go ahead and just start saying something. And you're watching me.
Okay.
It's and you said okay.
I
Wait, no. That does no.
I don't like dude's voice at all. I hated his voice.
hold on. But that was because the movie was rewritten and they changed some
Right.
lines and they changed things. So they just didn't go back and reshoot. And they just added the dialogue after the fact. So
But-
I mean, I get that, but yes, you're right. It was noticeable.
But in this day and
it was
age,
bad.
but in this day and age, and the fact that everybody and their mother does reshoots, they couldn't bring him on set for one day to like redo the like. I don't know. To me, it's just I walked out of that movie like going like, what are we doing here? Like,
I don't see how you could redo it though, because you'd have to redo the actual shot. Him coming in and do the voiceover, that's fine, but I don't think they wanted to spend the money to actually set up some scenes and redo them just to get the dialogue to match.
So my understanding is the guy's I think he's a French actor, and I'm guessing what happened is that the stuff that they recorded on set just didn't translate. Like it just didn't come across, because if you noticed after like the first couple scenes, you never actually see him talking. Like, you'll see him standing there, and then you'll see the back of his head, you'll see him walking away, you'll see far shots of him, and you'll see him in the faux Spider-Man getup. But you never actually see, like right now, us having this conversation, he never actually did any of that. All the scenes with the hacker girl and everything, it's all from behind him, or he's in another part of the room or something, or they're on they're on their microphones or their little wireless headset type of thing, like, so.
Yeah, but what I'm saying though is that's because they changed the script. They're not going to go in and have him reshoot those shots. They just did the voiceover and use the new script. That's what I'm saying. It was like some of the stuff. If there's probably another cut out there, the one that was supposed to use Andrew Garfield as the Spider-Man of that universe, they changed and scrapped that whole thing last year. And so when they had him come in to do the new dialogue, it's not gonna match his lips, obviously. So that's why you don't see him. That was on purpose. They changed that without going back to reshoot.
Well, and I mean, but my point is, the scenes that you do see him talking are awful. Like, and again, like Jack said, like whoever, whether it was him, like maybe just not being interested in doing voiceover or whatever, or whatever, like, but yeah, so agreed. We can all just agree that it wasn't a great movie, and that Sony is fumbling the ball with Spider-Man, man. Huge, because they can't actually use Spider-Man, but they have to. I think I saw something that said that they have to come out with a movie every 5 years and 9 months, I think is what they have to come out with, a movie, or they lose the license. Like, they have to come out with a movie. They basically have to have a movie in production almost constantly for them to keep the license. And so that's why we're getting this stuff where it's not, we're getting Morbius, we're getting, Venom, fun movie, good movie, not Spider-Man, right? Like, if you own the Spider-Man license, you can't use Spider-Man. What the heck is the point? Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, Jack, what were you saying? You didn't like the villain's voice, just in general?
Yeah, I didn't like his voice at all. I don't know if it's just the way he talks or if they did that on purpose.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm trying to think back when I watched it, and like his cadence was a little off. I didn't like the sound of it. It was, you're right. There was something about it that just was not. I don't know. It just. Here's the thing. I don't think that was a good movie, but I'd watch it again. I mean.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't say no.
Right.
I watch something else, but I wouldn't run away from it.
Right.
I also feel like the trailer was kind of misleading, because it kind of gave you the impression that you were going to see the girls fighting as, but they didn't even get their powers in this movie. Like, is the next movie supposed to be them getting their powers, or what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't. Go ahead.
I read something with Dakota Johnson when they pitched it to her. It was going to be like Terminator. They were all supposed to be protecting Mary, who's pregnant with Peter.
Right.
It was going to be like a Terminator kind of thing, so they would have their powers to protect her. And they're like, nah, let's do something different.
Well, and again, like,
cool.
if you weren't paying attention, like, you would have had no idea that Peter and Ben and Spider-Man and the whole, Peter Parker and all, like, they kind of talked around it, like, as close as they could without ever actually, like, I'm like
saying, "Oh, we're going to name him Peter."
But again, in some regards, it almost felt like it. In some regards, it felt like a fanfic movie where they wanted to do a Spider-Man movie, but they didn't want to get sued for copyright infringement. And so, like, they used, like, as much as they could of, like, the Spider-Man universe with, like, Sly, like, his name's Ben and he's going to be an uncle, like,
right.
That type of stuff. Like, and then, like, what was the villain's name even? I mean, he was a Spider character, obviously, because he had the Spider-Man outfit. He had the black and red Spider-Man outfit, but yet we never, like, I don't remember. I mean, again, it's most DC and Marvel villains. Who the hell knows who they are? Because they're going to be there for one movie and are just there to serve the purpose, of.
And I mean, he's in the comics. I mean, he's guys in the comics. I don't even think he was that much of a bad guy in the comics the way they portrayed him in this one. But
yeah,
but they had the license to use him, so they did. Yeah. My question, you guys may know because I don't know the answer to this one. Why can they not use Spider-Man in these Sony verse movies? Like, what is going on here?
Marvel gets like final say on, okay, you can put Spider-Man in here.
But I think everything got screwed up with Civil War, because I think Marvel / Disney when they signed the deal with Sony to get the money from Spider-Man. And again, just for people listening, we're all talking 100% of our asses right now, so we could be completely wrong about this. But my understanding is around the time of Civil War, when they decided they wanted to have Spider-Man introduce him into the MCU, that Disney and Sony came up with like a thing where they get to use Spider-Man, so then there's no confusion over which universe he's in, whether he's in the SMU or the DC or MCU. Because none of this, you're never going to see anybody from the MCU over on Sony's side. They're not that, they wouldn't give up that money, But I think there had to be something about the number of movies, like between the two of them, that Spider-Man could be in. Disney versus Sony.
All I know is we've got Morbius, we've got 2 Venom movies, we've got what's coming. Craven is coming, Madam Web, and not once they put in Spider-Man, and it's like, what the hell are y'all doing?
At least obviously, like there've been they've been like sly, like, oh, he's on a TV screen, or hey, the baby, or whatever.
Yeah,
but I mean, again,
man, I don't know. It just seems like such a waste. That's all. It just seems like such a waste.
The stuff that really sucks is that Sony's animation studio is kicking the crap out of almost every other superhero movie that's come out in the last 5 years. I mean, the Across the Spider-Verse movies are some of the best superhero movies to come out in the last 5 to 10 years. Like,
yeah, those two were well done.
It's kind of crazy. Like,
yep.
It's kind of crazy to me that you have a studio who has, like, obviously there's people there who understand Spider-Man and the lore and the mythos, but it's not like translating over to the live action for whatever reason. Like,
right.
It's weird. I'm guessing because they don't have like a Kevin Feige, George, Dave Filoni type person to kind of like keep the reins in, right? Bring the reins in when stuff's getting too out of control. But yeah.
All right. Wait, Jack.
Movies.
Yeah. Hold on. Did you go by yourself or did you go with the girls?
I brought the girls.
Did they like it?
Enough. The little one was covering her ears the whole time. We forgot her earplugs. Okay.
Gotcha.
Stacy liked it though.
All right. And she's a tough sell, so all right.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right, you were saying
the Dune popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I have. Uh-oh.
Really?
Uh-oh. Do I? Uh-oh. Hey, God.
I'll text it to you.
I was going to say, I'm looking down at my phone.
Yeah, Google it.
Yeah, I'm going to look.
You go ahead and talk while I'm looking.
Yeah, link for it. I have a picture downloaded.
I've already searched for it, so I already got it.
Okay, yeah. I'll wait for the chat then, because that y'all got me curious. I ain't gonna lie. Oh man! Do not tell me it's one of them worms.
Nope.
Do not tell me it's one of them worms. Okay.
I'm not gonna say nothing,
because I know how that.
Speaking of that stuff, the Ghostbuster ones are pretty cool. They're coming out with all the traps. Those ones look cool. All right, just reading that link is going to ruin it for Lou.
Oh, what the hell!
Click it.
Oh no!
Jack, have you seen the videos? Because some of the Dune cast had never even seen it before either.
No, I read an interview with the director. He's like, "Why?"
Dude, are you kidding me? There are going to be some 911 emergency calls on that bucket alone. I know. Fellas, just don't. When you see this bucket, just don't.
So a year from now, we can say, okay, Jack, insert picture of the bucket here.
Wow. How did I miss that? Probably because of work this week. But damn, no.
Yeah.
People, what are you doing?
That being said, we're seeing it on Friday night. So, Dune 2.
I still haven't watched the first one.
Wait,
really?
What?
Wow.
Damn, you're missing out. That's a good movie.
Great. We watched it last week at my house.
Wait, so it comes out next weekend, right?
Tomorrow. Premieres tomorrow and is this weekend.
Oh crap! So. I thought it was next weekend because I was going to watch it. Well, I was going to watch the first one again, to get cut. You know what I mean? Just to get the previously on. And I guess I'll watch it over the weekend, and then maybe I'll catch that Tuesday 5:50 movie.
Tightwad Tuesday. There we go.
You know it, Tightwad
Yeah.
Tuesday, man.
Oh yeah.
I gotta save my money for that popcorn bucket.
Yep.
Real quick, besides that, spring training open this weekend. So yay this week. So yay for that.
All right, cricket. Good job. I like cricket.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, Jack. You're about to say something. I was like, speaking of movies.
No, that was it. That was the popcorn bucket.
Oh, okay, good. Because I was like, man, dude. I was like, there's something else besides that popcorn bucket that's going on, because that's enough in itself. Holy crap, man.
Yeah, I think we have a few more weeks for. I think the end of March is Ghostbusters, right?
Yeah, the
Oh, yeah.
22nd. Yeah.
So what's the issue? You cause speaking of the popcorn bucket, you brought up Ghostbusters. So what's that one like?
Oh, all right.
They are going to have ghost traps. I think all three big chains are having their own ghost trap popcorn bucket. It's pretty cool.
Oh, wait! Before we got to tell the people, when you're listening to this and you hear about this Dune popcorn bucket, I'm not going to describe it either. I'm gonna ruin it for you if I do. You got to go look it up, or Jack will have the link in.
I'll put it on our Facebook.
Okay, there you go. People.
Looks like Cinemark's getting a Slimer.
Yeah, they're getting a Slimer and a trap.
Oh, that's cool.
And then one of them's getting a Stay Puff, Stay Puff.
The little ones, the minis.
No, these are
Cinemark has like some plushies or something.
Oh, that's cool.
But this morning, but AMC put up a Proton Pack Loungefly. It was a full-size backpack. I was like, sweet, I'm gonna get that. Nope, 1,000 pieces, gone.
Oh, damn. Wait, you don't need that.
It's a shame. This is true.
So I was like, you got yours, son.
I can use a new backpack.
So I'll put the two from AMC in the chat.
All right, I'm gonna go look at that right now. I see the first one. Oh, I like the design on that. The trap looks super cool. I'm confused on the Slimer. Looks like a drink lid.
Yeah, the Cinemark Slimer is better. He has like a Cinemark popcorn bucket with him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's cool. All right, y'all. So we talked about it last week.
Okay.
You guys have got to fill me in on this Jake Lloyd thing.
Okay, so Phantom Menace comes out 1999.
Yeah.
Right. Little Anakin. He's a cute kid, right? Nobody can disagree with that.
Yeah.
And also he's a kid.
Yeah.
Like he's a kid.
He's a kid.
Literally.
He was 8 when he filmed the movie. It was 10 when it came out. So he's going back to school, and all the kids are making fun of him. Like, hey, Annie, and making lightsaber sounds at him. Everything, just constant teasing on top of doing 60 interviews a day for the movie. And it's just relentless, like all through his school. So he grew up, drug drinking problems. He actually got diagnosed with schizophrenia.
Damn.
And he's been off the radar since then. I mean, if you look at his IMDb, the only thing he has after Phantom Menace really is voice acting for the Episode 1 games that came out.
Jeez.
But I mean, you remember after all the prequels came out, and like none of those guys were doing anything related to Star Wars. Like all of them, up until I think it was it 3, where like we had heard rumors that Hayden was like sneaking around with like a stormtrooper helmet on. I don't remember if that was 3 or 4, which celebration it was. But before that, like none of the people from the prequels, the people who were in both the prequels and the normal movies, of course, Ian McDiarmid and all of those people were still doing the circuit and all that kind of stuff. And in the intermediate, I think, even guys like that was when Mark Hamill started doing signings and stuff like that. But none of the prequel people were doing stuff for the longest time afterwards, because I think
Nope.
I think that there was a huge stigma from the Jake Lloyd thing, like
Yep.
because
The
he
Jar
was, I
Jar
mean,
Ahmed Best
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, between Jar Jar and Anakin, like, why would you, if you, by that time all those people had already signed up for whatever movie they were going to be in,
Yep.
especially the people who were going to be in all three of them. Like, why would they agree to do any publicity outside of the stuff they were legally obligated to do because of how, you know, it's good that Ahmed Best was able to, to make it through. But I know, I wasn't it, didn't he do
Barely.
the interview where he was saying, like, there had been times where he seriously contemplated suicide and that type of stuff, like,
He was on the Brooklyn Bridge, climbed over the guards, and was standing there about to do it. And then a gust of wind came by, and he grabbed on to save himself. And he's like, "Well, if I really wanted to do this, then I wouldn't have grabbed on." So that's how he came back from that.
Damn.
But he got a lot of flack. Um, I spent the last week listening to another podcast, The Redemption of Jar Jar Binks. And this guy goes through, he interviews him, and Ahmed tells his story. He's like, "Yep, I grew up a huge Star Wars fan. They offered this to me. I was like, yeah, I'll do this." So once it came out, and everybody just made all these websites, JarJarMustDie.com, KillJarJar.com, and then some of it bled over. They're like Ahmed Best, more like Ahmed Worst. And then even what really pushed him over was the people in his community. Like he still lived in New York, and then like the black people in his community were calling him Uncle Tom. They called him a sellout because a lot of people found Jar Jar to be like a racist trope, like a minstrel character.
Damn. Wait, so okay, so all the Ahmed Best stuff I heard about for the most part. Jake Lloyd, that's new to me. Who, anybody else? Because the way you guys describe it, it's like a lot of the cast weren't doing anything, but it sounds like it was just those two. Did
well,
anybody else get
as
any
far as
flack?
like, go ahead, Jack.
It just means like going to the conventions and stuff, like signings.
Yeah.
None of the main cast showed up. Like you never saw Ewan McGregor or Liam Neeson. Definitely not Natalie Portman show up to any of these conventions. Because they come in,
Hmm.
they do their stage show, and they bounce. They wanted nothing to do with Star Wars fans just because of that amount of
Okay,
backlash that everybody got. And even going into the sequels, Kelly Marie Tran got it too when she played
sort of,
Rose.
sort of. That one is still up in the air to me. That one, I've seen a lot of videos on that one. There's a lot of this person says this happened, but not a lot of evidence of what actually happened. So that one, I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon of that one. Of, oh my God, I don't know. I would need to see some evidence, more evidence of the stuff. Now, granted, did she get screwed in episode 9 with what, a minute and a half of screen time? Probably, but that
That's
8 and 9, 8 and 9. You
that's a
know what?
completely different. That's a completely different episode of the.
No, I'll come back and talk about it in a minute. But I want to finish this one up first because that's a short conversation for me. The 8 and 9 thing is really short for me. But yeah, that Jake Lloyd stuff. Holy crap, man! I mean, but they were just making fun of him for being in the movie. They weren't really talking about how he acted, did they? Was that an issue?
I mean,
No,
it
that
was
was the
everything.
the grown ups that were writing the reviews. People are like,
Ah,
well,
okay.
everybody in the movie was horrible actor. The kid, he's cute, but he can't act for anything. So I mean, the reviews gave it to him really good.
Well, when you're acting off of the script that you're given, I mean, what the hell are you supposed to do?
Well,
But
that's the thing. I mean, that window of time too, I think, was such a transit. There was such a transition happening with online media, and it taking such a, before you could be in a terrible movie. 25 years ago, you could be in a terrible movie, and you would see the reviews and that type of thing. But I think it wasn't as prominent, like the vitriol and the anger and the hate and the whatever, right? And the late 90s, early 2000s was when all of that stuff was transitioning and all that stuff was coming online,
Yeah.
hyperspace and all of, Rebel Scum, all of those sites were just becoming something that hadn't, nobody had a place to go before, really, or it was a lot more difficult to go somewhere and find people who felt the same way that you did, right? And maybe you watched the movie and maybe you didn't have an opinion about Jake Lloyd, but you went on to X Star Wars site that you liked to go to, and you found the forums, and you went into the forums, and there was a bunch of other people saying, "Oh, Jake Lloyd's the worst." Well, you're gonna get, like, that's gonna be
The mob
yeah,
I just
mentality.
see that's so wild to me because I'm like the kids. The kids ate. I thought he was fine. I mean, the movie itself had whatever issues it had, but I don't know. I just didn't have that. I didn't even know that existed. It was that bad.
Well, and I think the reason why it didn't affect anybody else as much as it did him was everybody else had a pretty most of those actors already
Careers.
had a pretty illustrious career, right? Like Ewan was already an actor and was doing his thing. Even Natalie Portman was an actor and had been doing her thing for years, and all the rest of the people, and maybe Jake just didn't have the support system around him that all the rest of those guys did, that when that anger and that hatred kind of percolated up out of the sewer, like, again, that's all hearsay, but I
All
could
right.
totally, I remember reading, because I always wondered, I know Jack and I used to talk about that too, especially when like Hayden started sneaking around the conventions, and when we sat in line for 8 hours to get Mark Hamill's autograph and that type of stuff. Like, we were like, well, where's Jake Lloyd? Why hasn't he done anything? And I remember reading an article in, Empire or Film or whatever, Total Film or whatever, and they were talking about, it was a 10-year or 15-year retrospective of, episode one. And it was basically like, yeah, like his whole life got derailed because of Star Wars. Like,
Hmm.
he
All
just,
right.
and he never came back
Did
from
meet
it.
him
I
one
mean, I
time
think,
though.
did you?
Yeah. He was at a Comic-Con years ago, and I got to meet him. He was a quiet kid, just not a lot of eye contact and stuff. But no, he had a pretty decent line. Even I mean, it wasn't horrible, but I mean, it was
Yeah.
before he got really off track. Like he's had a couple DUIs now and gone to jail and mental health rehabs and all kinds of stuff now.
Yeah. Plus the fact if you're gonna have whether it be San Diego Comic Con or whether it be a Star Wars convention, if if Jake Lloyd showed up, let's say he had his stuff together, he showed up, he's gonna get his kudos. I mean, the our community usually supports. I mean, you have all the crap about the women actresses, the women of Star Wars, whatever, and you hear all this on the or read all this on the internet, but they show up at a convention and they're just getting all the cheers. So I know Daisy Ridley is one of them when they talked about people are like, oh my God, the Mary Sue that she is, and all the crap that she got. But let her show up at a convention, her line is super long. Simple as that.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Man,
It's
so do you guys go ahead?
the was part of the podcast that I was reading because in '99 the internet was new, so it was still all about
Mm-hmm.
print media. So when the journalists got a hold of it, they're like, "Oh, there's this Jar Jar hate on the internet." They would say, "Oh, well, the internet hates Jar Jar." So they would go around, they'd find like 12 quotes from people. Yep, the whole internet hates Jar Jar. The whole internet did not hate Jar Jar, but once they compiled it all and they put it into print, now everybody sees it because not everybody had the internet in '99. So now it's in print, it's everywhere that the internet hates Jar Jar. They never printed the
Huh.
good stuff, just like always.
So do you guys think season three of Mando with, well, I think it was season three of Mando with the explanation of who saved Grogu? Do you think that was trying to fix some stuff from 20 years ago to
I
let
mean,
him
I
Um,
think it was
invest?
good. I go ahead. Oh, go ahead, Jack.
they actually talked about that on that podcast. Dave and John emailed him and they're like, "Hey, do you want to come back? And we just want to meet you, talk to you." So he went up to Skywalker Ranch and they talked for like 2.5 hours. He said, and they're like, "Do you want to be in Mandalorian?" He's like, "I'll get back to you." As opposed to the 25-year-old kid when they're like, "Bro, you want to be in Star Wars?" He's like, "Yeah." So
Yeah.
he had to think about it, and they had to come back, and they're like, "We'll take care of you. We'll make sure that uh, everything goes fine. That people aren't, coming after you and everything." I'm like, "Okay, cool. I'll come back for that because you guys are making me promises that I'm not coming back as Jar Jar. I'm not coming back as some kind of joke. And they're like, no, we got you. We'll take care of you and make it good.
Yeah,
Well,
and they did. I mean,
that was my understanding, is that they were just kind of giving him his flowers. Like, hey, like you had 20, 20, almost 25 years of just this dumping on you that was not, again, the whole idea that we've gotten to this point of just in general of associating an actor with a role they played and like equating our feelings for that person, whether it's positive or negative, and letting the vitriol get so bad that like, oh, I hate Ahmed Best because he was Jar Jar. Well, that was one role that he had. Jake Lloyd was also in Jingle All the Way. Did you like Jingle All the Way? Yeah, I love Jingle All the Way. Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's funny. Well, guess what? He was in that too. Like, so to say, oh, Jake Lloyd sucks because he was in one movie that was terrible. Every single actor that we talk about throughout this podcast is going to be in terrible movies. Daisy Ridley, for example, hasn't been in a ton of great movies, or at least notable movies that have made money and have been critically acclaimed outside of Star Wars movies. But because of Star Wars, she's a person of note, And that's not, and I'm not shading Daisy Ridley at all, but I'm just using an example of her as a lot of the other movies that she's been in haven't been critical successes that have made a ton of money. And, maybe that's her choices, that's her agent's choices, whoever. But, you don't see the amount of hatred. I mean, I guess you do in a different way. You do see the amount of hatred towards Daisy Ridley that I'm guessing Jake Lloyd probably got, because the internet is so much more a pervasive part of our society today.
I mean, I
That,
suppose, but when I see stuff on people hate Ray. They don't hate Daisy Ridley. Kind of like what
but
happened in Obi-Wan.
that does bleed over though. That's the shitty part. And I'm guessing Jake Lloyd probably is one of the first people that had to deal with that with the advent of the internet.
Yeah,
Also,
probably.
kids are assholes, man. Kids just suck.
They are assholes.
Like,
Yeah,
so
facts.
I'm sure we all have our stories of being in school and I couldn't imagine having an opportunity like being in Star Wars and then everybody like
Ragging on you?
shitting on you about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a
But
fan,
I mean,
that would crush me.
right? Like you finally got to be in Star Wars and everybody hated you.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And
that would be
that's what
brutal.
Ahmed went through. He grew up loving Star Wars and now he's like this pariah and they're like, "Nah, bro, you ruined Star Wars. You destroyed my childhood because Jar Jar sucks." But also nobody gives him credit for being like the first motion capture artist. You wouldn't have
Mm-hmm.
Avatar without Ahmed Best. You wouldn't have Gollum in Lord of the Rings without Ahmed Best.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody wants to bring that up. They're like, "Oh, well, that was Jar Jar." So they're just hating on him. He did post something on Instagram the other day in a mocap suit and said, "Every time I think I'm out, they bring me back in." So he's doing something with Star Wars.
Oh, it was a
Whether it's
Star
Jar
Wars
Jar
thing
or
you were
not, I don't
looking
know.
at.
Yeah, it might
Oh,
have been
damn.
Star Wars. He
Okay.
did
I'm
hashtag Star Wars
curious.
it though.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm curious then for sure.
Well, I know. Well, they're still working on the Outcast game, right? Or not Outcast, Out. The next game
Oh
that's
yeah,
coming
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Is it
Why can't I think of the
Outcast?
name of it? Right?
Either way,
Yeah,
what?
but I know that they're
I
also
think he could
working
be
on
in that.
another. I think there is another game that they're also making, not EA or anybody like that, but I think there is another Star Wars game being made.
Well, the
All right.
Mandalorian game got canceled.
Oh, I saw
Mm.
that. I saw that. I don't know
EA
why
said
though.
no,
I
no more
mean,
like EA was laying off. They said no, no more licensed games. We're just going to do our own
oh,
games.
okay, gotcha.
Which is probably for the best for everybody because EA really fumbled the ball with after after Battlefront. I feel like there was a
Wait, does
lot
that mean
of
there's not going to be any more Fallen Order games? That would be an issue.
there will be. I mean there will be other Cal Kestis games guaranteed, but they might not be
Yeah,
EA
but
games.
yeah, I was gonna say, but it won't be EA is the thing. Was what it sounds like.
Yeah.
So okay. So my episode 8, episode 9, real quick. It's real. To me. It's real simple, real easy. Episode 8 went off on a tangent. They had no structure for 7, 8, and 9, so 8 did whatever they wanted to do. 9 came in and had to fix 8, as well as be their own movie. So 9 is going to feel rushed, it's going to feel disjointed, and it's going to feel like, oh, what the hell is going on? Because there was no explanation for Snoke. Obviously, it's like, who is this guy? What was his role? So we're going to make it up and have this clone thing happening. So, like, I've had this conversation with a few people out here in Colorado, and for me, it's real simple. I don't mind 8 as a what if type movie. It's off to its side, does its own thing. It's definitely very different. The whole Rey as a nobody type thing. Okay, great. Nothing wrong with that. Luke had his role, which was terrible. Okay, fine. In a different world. But 7 and 9 kind of tie in more together than 8 and 9, and you would think would be the other way around. 7 had to be made the way it had to be made, where it's a repeat of 4, 5, and 6, because you had to get the fans back. So you had to, okay, we're going to make this movie that people are familiar with. Fine. They copied the original formula, and they did what they had to do. And it wasn't the best movie, but I enjoyed it, and it got the fans back in. Okay, great. We've introduced these characters. Let's expand on them. And 8 did not do that. And then 9 had to make up for that. So it was like completely disjointed. I'm not going to get into the whole Kathleen Kennedy thing because that's on her to make sure that wasn't disjointed, but whatever. So I would watch 8, but I don't like it as part of that trilogy is my issue because it just doesn't fit. So
but it's not fair because of what 9 did to it.
Maybe that is also a way to look at it.
7 and 8 go perfectly fine together. 8 literally starts where 7 ended.
Sort of in this. Okay, that part is true. But what was explained in 8? Because you still have to go through and fill some things. 8 didn't do anything. They killed. I mean, you.
It was Rey's training.
And was that? Do you think that training was done well?
For Rey training.
But do you think that training
Luke was a cranky old man? No,
right. And you think that was well?
It
you think that's how it should have been?
Out. It was better than Luke's training. It was better than Luke's training in Empire.
You think so? I mean, that's a bold
statement.
He
ran around with Yoda on his back.
I'll watch that all day before I watch it. I'll watch that all day before anything from episode 8.
Because it's a better movie overall.
Probably true.
But Rey plus trained. All Luke did. What did Luke do to learn the Force? Nothing.
Wait, hang on. That was what he did.
Yeah, and it was great.
They have an action figure that has an arm that does this.
And but at the very least...
I'm sorry. Like, Jack, you'll have to rotate me so I'm on my head. But that was it. Those were the 2 things he did to learn the Force.
But don't forget, they also cut out the scene when Yoda was explaining to Luke about seagulls. So that was an important part of the movie. True. They cut out. So.
And that was a jamming ass song.
It was a great song.
That log had a baby.
That log had a child.
Go ahead, Duke. I know 8's your favorite.
When I walked out of 8, I felt something. So Last Jedi. So when I walked out of Last Jedi with the group of people that I'd seen it with, I hadn't felt that way about Star Wars in a really long time because it was something different and fresh. It was almost kind of like watching the first season of The Mandalorian, right? It was something where you're watching it and it's familiar, but it's not a repeat. And that's how I felt about Force Awakens. Like, Force Awakens didn't have to follow the same beats that A New Hope did. Like,
yes, it did.
But my point is that was, if we had all 3 movies that were done by J.J. Abrams, it would have just been a repeat of all 3 of those movies, because that's what he did in 9. So if you want to see a fan version where Luke is a girl, then sure, then 7, 8, and 9 by J.J. Abrams is going to be your jam.
But hold on. But we don't know that, because there was no structure from day one. So how could 7, 8, and 9 be a repeat of 4, 5, and 6 when 7 was already a repeat of 4, 5, and 6? 8 and 9 would have had to have been something different, unless you're going to make 7 2 more times, and I doubt that would have happened.
But who knows? I mean, 9 went off the like 9 went off the rails so many times to me that I was like, what are we watching? Like it was literally one of those movies where you're sitting there and I think it was so fast, like things were happening so quickly that there was no even time to even process what was happening. And for them to be like, oh, well, this is the end of the Skywalker saga and everything else. I mean, I think it's at a huge disservice to all the movies on how they handled all this stuff. Oh, Hux is a spy. Oh, Chewie's dead. No, he's not. Like, it's it was.
You would have cried if Chewie died, though.
You'd still be crying. I was ready to. I was like, oh, thank God, this is the moment that I've been waiting for, right? Like, this is the all. Now they have moved on. To me, it was almost kind of like you killed Chewie because now that's your cutoff point, right? We've now moved on from all of the original trilogy characters. Nobody is left outside of Lando, who he's going to be around forever. He's not dying, but Luke's gone, Han's gone, Leia's gone.
Saw that Colt 45 Fountain of Youth.
Exactly. But you say, okay, well, Chewie, and it's also then a moment for Rey to have a reflection of like, oh, I need to check myself before I wreck Chewie, type of thing. Like, but they didn't even you didn't even get a chance to like process that. And all of a sudden the door opens and he's like, rah, 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 and they're like, oh, hey, Chewie. And I'm like, wait, that emotional beat, all of a sudden now Poe is a smuggler. Oh, well, why is Poe a smuggler? Because that's all J.J. Abrams knows is we got to have a smuggler. Like, why can't you just have Poe be a pilot? Like, why does he have to have all of a sudden this huge backstory that was never talked about in the 4 hours before? Like, and then poor Finn, like Finn, you want to talk about Rose getting the short shift. Like, I mean, Finn's in the exact same, both of them are in the same boat paddling to Nowheresville because both of them were, was there a scene that Finn was in that he wasn't yelling Rey? Like it, yeah, God damn.
Jack, your turn.
I don't mind any of them. I like them all. I will watch any of them any day. I don't even care. Star Wars is Star Wars. Like that meme from episode 2. I like Star Wars. The prequels, the sequels, I love them all the same. I don't care. It's Star Wars. Are they all great? No. But I've also plowed through Resistance. I had to force myself to finish that.
Yeah, I still didn't do it.
Wasn't half bad. It's not half bad once you get going. I even watched Young Jedi Adventures. I don't mind that one. That one's adorable.
Hold that. So let's back up to Resistance. When does it get good? Because I got sick of that kid every episode. Oh, I'm on a spy mission. I'm a secret agent or whatever. I was like, dude, okay, we get it. You are. It's like, I think there was like 8 episodes that I watched and he kept still doing it. I was okay, I'm out. And I stopped watching at that point.
Well, there's only like 12 episodes or something. So.
Yeah, no, there's like 2. So. Aren't there like 2 seasons of that?
Well, yeah, but each one. But I think there's like, okay, so 16 episodes, right?
Like per season.
Yeah. What you need to do is you need to go onto like fanedit.org where they talk about all the where like somebody's cut all of the stuff out of Resistance that's actually relevant to the movies and the actual like
Andor,
right? Well, yeah, because then you go into Andor Ahsoka, and you have somebody
or Ahsoka.
Who, if you have no idea who it is, then you don't tie that back to Resistance, right?
Yeah, the Ahsoka scene in the council, like in the courtroom.
Ahsoka, not Andor, but Ahsoka.
Yeah, I said Andor at first, but it was Ahsoka that did it. So how's Young Jedi's then? How's that one?
Like it takes place in the Old Republic, so it doesn't have anything to do with anything really, unless you read those books. Right. Yoda's in it because he's alive then, but he's not like a major character in it.
So is Young? Is it a spinoff of the High Republic then? Because isn't that in
Yeah,
that same
yeah,
time
it's a High
frame?
Republic. Yeah,
Okay,
because
all
there's
right.
Era.
characters from it. They go to the space station that is plays a heavy part in those stories. And
Okay.
they actually just went to Batu, which was kind of cool.
Oh, right on. But yeah, I mean, again, I'll watch them all. I don't care for Solo all that much. I hated it the first time I watched it. Second time, I was okay with it, and now it's not so bad. For Solo, uh, I mean, eight. If I'm gonna sit there and watch them all, and whether it be whatever trilogy order you guys choose to watch them in, I'm not gonna go watch 7 and then 9. I'm gonna watch 7, 8, and 9. But every time I watch 8, I'm just like, why? What is the point of this scene? What was the point of this? There's like, there's a lot of, for me. What was the point of them on their side mission to what was the gambling town called, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Keto
like,
Keto Bite.
yeah, keto. Yeah,
Canto
it was
Bite.
like Canto Bite. It was like, what's the point of this? What's the point? What's the point of what that other admiral being a jackass and just keeping all the information? I'm a military kid. I get hierarchy and all, but a lot of that would have been just stop being a brat and say, hey, here's our plan. We're going to this planet. Oh, okay, cool. And none of that other side crap would have happened. So it's like, man, it was just ridiculous.
Poor writing.
Until the end,
I'm-
and then we get that fight, and it's like, okay, cool, with the Praetorian guards. I was like, all right, I can watch that all day.
I think part of it was that they had to find something for Finn to do. Again, going back to your point, that they didn't have a cohesive vision on what they were going to do. So you had all of these characters who were the same archetypes as the episode 4 characters, but with no okay, we're all sitting here we're all writing out, this is the arcs of all of these characters. Like, nobody had a clearly defined arc throughout all of the movies. Like, everything was like very like, well, 7, okay, we're gonna do this, and then when 8 came along and they said, well, we want to do this, and they were like, well, we have all these other characters that we also have to have something for them to do, right? Like, the storylines were so narrow and focused on certain characters that it wasn't like they could just say, okay, well, Finn and Poe are going to fly off and we're just going to focus on Rey on this planet, so they had to give them something to do and something to move forward on, and at least through 8, it was supposed to be Finn and Rose developing their relationship, and then potentially, I'm guessing, it's in my head canon, would become the leaders of the rebellion, right? And that's Finn's arc, is that he starts out as somebody who's always been told what to do and realizes what he's doing is wrong, and then the slow arc of him becoming a leader and becoming a fixture in the rebellion or resistance, whatever you want to call them. But then that just got completely derailed between 8 and 9, right? Like, but
That's where he ended up in 9, though.
Kind of like, but it was real. I mean, we're gonna land on this planet. We have a knife, and the knife tells us exactly, like, what?
Yeah, that part was all crap.
Like, I don't even like. Oh, we happen to land here on the right day because these oceans don't have tides and they're the same. Like,
well, it was a moon, so nothing would change unless the moon has a moon.
Oh, that's fair. That's a good point.
But it wasn't Endor. It was a third Death Star.
It was a different moon of Endor.
It was the one where all the stuff landed because we couldn't have it land on the Ewok moon because we couldn't have the the catastrophe of what would happen if the Death Star actually landed on the Endor moon with the Ewoks on it.
Well, at least Disney Star Wars did one thing right, and that's Rogue One. Rogue One knocked it out the ballpark. That was well done. I really don't have many complaints about Rogue One.
Except for the trailer. You hate the trailer.
I hate the trailer.
Well, again, I mentioned this last week. I hate trailers that mislead you into thinking it's going to be one thing and then completely nothing that happens in the trailer actually happens in the movie. Like, it's like,
or scenes that aren't even in the damn movie. And I'm glad those
Yeah.
people in England sued for freaking whatever it was, false advertising, because that's crap. I want the Supreme Court to take this up.
They have
I
better
want
things
none
to
of
do.
that.
The Supreme Court of the UK.
Of the United States of America, damn it. Jump in there and say, hey, movie people, you're going to do this. If you're going to have a trailer, everything in that trailer needs to be in the movie. Or every person who watched it is allowed to sue you, class action, whatever, automatic loss. I don't care what it is. That's bull. Hate that crap.
I think that happened because of Avengers, Infinity
No,
War,
I don't
because they
think it was
had
that way.
Hulk in the Iron Man
Suicide
suit.
Squad. It was Suicide Squad.
That one for sure.
That was the first one. That's the one where they sued in England because what was it? I can't remember her name. The Asian lady with the sword.
Katana.
Katana.
Yeah, there we go. Wait, they named her the sword?
The sword.
Yeah,
Wow.
her name's Katana. It's a
That's
comic
some
book
bullshit.
movie, bro. You're overthinking it.
I am. I gotta stop that. So, but
They have a dude
when
in
it
a fat
happens,
costume called Batman. It's crazy.
it's very, very simple.
And if you have boobs, then you're Batgirl. Like it's
you're a girl, not a woman. I mean, that's oh man, CW, poor you.
well, if you're a Batwoman, then your movie gets released. Heyo.
Oh damn!
Taxes.
We got tax write-offs that we need.
We can't even get talking about that tonight.
No, we're running out of time already. Damn.
All right, Lou. Tell us your white people shit.
Oh, okay. So I'm not sure how much of a white people shit this is because I don't know if all y'all do it or black people do it. I just don't see a lot of black people going to brunch with like 25 other people. So I went to a brunch on Sunday. Was there like 3 hours with 25 other people, and there was like one Hispanic person, one black girl, and then everybody else was white. And then if you look around the restaurant, all white people. So I'm like, oh, white people must be a huge brunch thing with y'all drinking your mimosas and whatever.
Yeah.
Umbrella
Orange juice.
drinks.
It's healthy.
Yep.
Wait, did you have a mimosa or a Bellini?
I had a Bloody Mary, son. I'm gonna do it right.
All right. But I'm just making sure that you're,
But don't get me wrong. As soon as that was over and I went to the bar, I got me some whiskey Sprite and some gin and tonic. So we did it right after.
You need to try Bellini.
What is Bellini?
Bellini is fresh fruit and champagne.
What? Why would?
Yeah.
No, man. Just Tanqueray and tonic, man. Just give me that and call it a day. What is wrong with y'all? But yeah, I was like, okay, y'all gonna do this. I'm gonna do it too. But for a minute there, I stepped out. Obviously it was a big room because it was a party of almost 30 people. I stepped out, go to the bathroom at one point. I'm just looking around this restaurant/bar, and I'm just like, man, I already know what I'm talking about on Thursday because there ain't nothing but white people on here. And I guess y'all really love your brunch. I mean, what is that about?
Sunday good.
Hey, Sunday fun day, better than a Monday, my friend.
I mean, don't get me wrong. When I was back in Vegas, I loved me a breakfast buffet because you had lunch options and breakfast options. But people just talk about brunch like, oh my god, I can't wait for brunch.
And breakfast options, lunch and breakfast options. So there should be a word for that.
They should be, but it ain't. It ain't because they just called that breakfast buffet that had lunch options, or they had a lunch buffet with breakfast. Out here, man, you can what's it called? You can group on brunch stuff. You ain't group on brunching stuff at the Vegas casino. It's brunch, and it's like if you don't use the word brunch, they are mad at you out here. It was like what?
Yeah.
Like, why is
so
that
wait,
a thing?
What was the purpose of the brunch to just have brunch, or was there a reason that that there was?
Oh, just to get together. No, just to get together, or 30 people who knew each other. You know, a Facebook group type thing that just hang out socially. And nobody wanted to do breakfast. Nobody wanted to do lunch. They all had to have brunch because somebody brought it up. Hey, let's do breakfast. It's like let's do brunch. I'm like, oh, then everybody piled on the brunch thing, and it was like. Okay.
Not on Sunday. You don't have breakfast on Sunday. You wait until 10 o'clock and then you go to brunch. Come on,
man. See, you know, because this was this was at 10:30. This was a 10:30 event. So yeah,
Yep.
you guys know this is that
Right. Church starts at 9. It's done at 10:15. You're at the restaurant at 10:30.
Not the black church. No. The black church started at 11. You know, we got a jam. You know, we got bass guitars, drum set.
You
and then everybody.
You
hold on, and then we gotta go to somebody's house afterwards, and everybody's a potluck. That's how that works. You got the
That's
Southern Baptist Church, but that don't start at damn 9. Hey, black people ain't getting up that early.
You started at 11 to give the people time to get the barbecue and stuff going before.
Yeah, well, yeah, you got to get the briquettes hot. You got to get. You can't just. We ain't using gas.
They're not getting up at 6 o'clock for that.
Man, I ain't getting up at 9 to go to church. I'm just saying. I mean, I was struggling. I'll tell you right now. I was CPT going to this 10:30 brunch. I was like, how late can I sleep in? Take my shower the night before. Make sure that's knocked out, and then make sure how many times I can hit snooze. It's a 9-minute snooze, so I know I can hit it twice. And I got there right before it started. It was perfect. Oh man! I already got next week's thing for you because it's something I'm doing this Sunday. Y'all gonna love this one. So
I appreciate that you're planning it out.
Dude, I planned it out last June. Actually, it just happened to be coming up next week.
Brunch does sound good though.
Oh hell! Here we go.
Nah, go to Via Brazil. Get that brunch going.
Okay, hold on. That's different. Yeah,
that's brunch, son. They call it brunch.
You might get me flying in for that. So
some of them waffles and that garlic steak.
Oh, the garlic steak, so good. Mm-hmm. Those Brazilian barbecue places are the jam.
I think. There
was a special today. Sorry, Duke. There was one out here today. $29 special on the 29th.
Dang.
Mm-hmm. But I had to work.
I didn't take any advantage of none of that stuff.
Me neither.
Free Cinnabon at Wendy's.
Yeah. That's the pull apart Cinnabon. I saw that too. But
yeah.
With their surge pricing.
They backed
backed off of.
Yep. Yeah.
Man,
that was
like
they were we were talking about it in our chat, and one of the guys was like, "So does that mean it's cheaper when it's off hours? So if you show up at 2:30, is your Baconator $4 instead of $8 because it's a slow time? Nope, that's just still $8.
No.
Like,
see, I wonder that about football. Like we have. Like, I'm gonna hold out. I had a great season, and y'all need to give me more money. So does that mean if you have a crappy season, we should take money away? Oh, no. Right. We can't have that. Nah, man, you hypocrites.
Yeah.
Have it both ways or don't have it at all.
I get paid the same, whether I'm good at my job or not.
Exactly.
Combines happening this week.
What is it?
Combine? The NFL Combine?
Oh, that's right. It started today, didn't it? Or yesterday?
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
No, today. Today's Thursday. Yeah, it started today. We'll see how that goes. I mean... as long as Denver screws it up again, so I can make fun of these people out here, I'm fine with it. I love to hate them. There's, oh my god, that's a good point. I'm gonna make fun of them at brunch. I'm gonna go to brunch just to dog on the Broncos.
Well, wear your Raiders jersey to brunch
with my Chiefs hat, my Raiders jersey, and my Chiefs hat. Nobody cares about the Chargers right now, so wait till see what Harbaugh does before we worry about that. But yeah, Raiders jersey, Chiefs hat, big old chain. Yeah.
All right then. I guess we'll wrap it up.
Yeah. That was I approve of your white person activity this weekend, Lou, or this week.
Frickin' brunch. Yeah. What is wrong with y'all?
Now we're going to go to brunch.
Yep.
You guys go ahead. I'm gonna go to lunch after I wake up at 11 a.m. because CPT is real.
I already ate.
Yeah, we'll be on round 3 of our mimosas and or bellinis, depending on
our bellinis.
Oh man, no, y'all the type to go to buffet and get like fruit on your plate. No, we ain't having that.
I need something but I use the fruit to create the layer between. Yeah, I used it to build the structure between my layers of meat.
Go to Golden Corral and have a salad. What's wrong with y'all?
So I can be regular. All right, so I'm not taking that 35-minute shit that you were talking about earlier.
Dude, that's the game's fault. If Euchre would deal me a better hand, I could get out of there in like 2 minutes. But nope, I ain't leaving till I win. You know how my OCD is. I can't have it.
All right, Lou. Next week you're explaining Euchre to us.
All right. Talk about some white people shit. Good Lord.
There we go. There we go.
All right, everybody.
All right, gents.
Tell a friend. Tell a friend. We need more than 16 this week.
Yeah, let's see if we can get to 20.
Yeah.
Small, like, don't be greedy. The 16 to 20.
All right.
Dude, that's a 25% improvement. We'll take it.
Yeah, there we go.
That's true. Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
All right.
Peace out,
Take care,
y'all.
guys. See ya.